This is an exercise looking at owning stock versus selling a naked put. And for this example, we chose a very conservative stock. Typically, I like to target an 8 to 10% return um, on naked puts that I write. In this particular one is only a 7.1% return, but we want it to be conservative as we give you this example. So here's where we are. This analysis is with Verizon. At the date, it was at 55.06 on the 29th of January of this year, paying a $2.51 dividend, which is 4.56%, which is really strong. So if you were to buy 1,000 shares at 55.06 and hold for a year, it would require $55,060 in gross capital. If you were to sell 10 January 22 put contracts, which is 1,000 shares at a $50 strike price, your capital required would be 50 times 1,000 shares, which is 50,000, but you're immediately going to get paid a $3,300 premium. So really your net capital is $46,700. So you save about $8,360 in capital advantage options. One of the things to remember is the only way to get money out of stock is to sell the stock. So you have to sell it after a year. You would earn a dividend owning the stock if it stayed flat, which is just $2,500. If the stock price stayed flat for a year, you would still get your $3,300 premium. So advantage options by about $790. If the stock increased 5% over that period of year, you would earn your dividend from the stock as well as the stock appreciation when you sold it, earning 9.6% as opposed to the 7.1 or $3,300. So advantage stock if the stock price goes up 5% and you sell the stock. If it goes up 10%, same story, advantage stock. But you have to sell the stock to make this happen. You would get the same dividend, you would get more stock appreciation for a 14.6% yield versus 7.1, so advantage stock. Now, if the stock price happened to decrease 5% during that year, you would still earn the dividend, but your stock value would go down $2,753. You may or may not sell the stock. You may or not realize that for a 0.4% loss versus options where you still made your $3,300, your 7.1% return, obviously advantage options. If the stock were to go down 10% to $49.55, well, you still get your dividend, but now your stock sale loss is much greater, resulting in a 5.4% loss if you sold the stock. Compare that to options where you got paid $3,300, and if the stock was assigned to you at $49.55 at your $50 put price, you would just liquidate it, take your $450 loss, and walk away with a $2,850 gain of 6.1% as opposed to the loss with the stock. So big advantage options. If the stock price were to go down 20%, had a black swan event, got whacked, options again much stronger than stock. And there's two other things you need to think about here. One, with options, there are numerous defensive strategies. You can kick the can down the road and actually make money while doing so. So if it looked like you were going to get assigned that $50 put in January of 22, you can kick it out to January of 23 and make more money doing so. However, with the stock, if you just said, I don't want to take the loss, I'm going to hold on to the stock, that's dead money with the exception of your dividend. You're just hoping the stock comes back and settling for your dividend yield, whereas you'd be much better off closing a position and writing another put. So following these pages are a couple of key takeaways that might be worth you looking at. Thank you.